Hey, what is up, nation? In this session, we're going to be modeling some Easter eggs in SketchUp. So today we're going to be modeling some eggs, and so I went and found a picture of an egg really quick so we can get the basic shape of it, and then we're going to spend some time decorating them. So if I go to File here, Import, I want to navigate to where I have my egg. Over here, just hit import. The mistake I made here is that I actually don't want it to be a photo match, so let me just delete that. And we'll do this again. File, import. I'll make sure that in here you have image selected, and then I'm going to choose my egg. That way we just get a little egg right here. For right now, I'm just going to model this at a random scale. And then what I want to do is just draw a line through the middle here. And I have a plugin installed called Bezier Curves. It's actually by the Sketchup team. So I'm going to select here. I'm going to select at the top. And then just use this Bezier curve to sort of get what I'm looking for. Let me try that again. Top, bottom, and then let me try here and then here. Yeah, so it actually kind of looks upside down. So let's actually make this into two different Bezier curves. We'll try that. Okay, so we'll go from here to here, and then choose a point there. Here, that looks pretty good. Now this does come in a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that, but I think we might just leave it. Just try to match this side up. What you want here is for sort of a smooth transition between these two shapes. So these two guys here. What I'm going to do for that is, because it looks like there's like a little kink here, between these two. I'm going to select one of these, and then I'm going to explode it. The same thing with this one. Explode. And that's going to allow me to take this point here and move it out a little bit. So I'm just hitting red to the red axis, which allows me to just pull that out a little bit, just to sort of smooth this out. So we have this guy. Now we have our egg. Now the trick here, I'm just going to save this, make it a group. And I already saved my file, so periodically throughout this I'm going to be hitting Control S to save, just so you know that. Compulsively we'll hit that. I'm going to hit Q here to rotate, and rotate this up. Now the trick to doing this is going to be making a circle. So I have my center point here. Make sure that you are in the correct axis. So I'm going to hit the up arrow. That's going to lock me to the blue axis. And then you also just want to make sure, the most important thing for this step is just making sure you have the right amount of sides that make sense for whatever you're doing. So I changed this from the default to 16. So we're just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to come out. For this, it doesn't really matter where that circle is, because it's just going to have us go in 360 degrees. So I'm then going to take I'm going to explode this, select my shape, or actually select my angles here. And let me just do something really quick. Okay, just showing you here that my shape is in line with one of the intersection points of my circle. So I'm just going to select this, hit follow me. You can see that we get this crazy looking, you get all those little lines, which is fine for right now. What I'm going to do is just double click on all of this, go to soften edges, and then when you just change this, it's going to soften everything so that this ends up looking a lot more egg-like. And then make sure that smooth normals is checked, or else your egg is going to look like this. Okay? Now we have our egg. And this is going to be the foundation for everything else that we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is just save this off to the side, make a group of it, and then we're just going to move those two things out here. Okay, so we have our egg still. Now the way that I'm going to show you how to do this will vary depending on how you want to decorate your eggs. So you may want to just keep one of these just so you have it. But if I come to the top view here and then put on hidden geometry, the nice thing about this is that you have a few different ways that you can sort of mess with things. So for this first egg, what I'm going to do is I just want one of these little pieces. So I'm just selecting everything within that area, and I'm just deleting really slowly everything that is inside of all the other pieces. Now, because the way that SketchUp works, I can then take this piece here, just make sure that it looks okay. I can make it a component. Let's call this egg 1. I can make it a component. I want to lock to the blue axis here. I can take this guy and bring it over to here. And then I'm going to hit the multiply symbol, the asterisk symbol, and type 15. Let me just check here. Okay, so 14 and 15. You can redo that as many times before you sort of like confirm it. And now we have an egg here. Now this egg, if I turn off hidden geometry, doesn't look that great, obviously. There's a lot going on here. So what I'm going to do is hide the rest of everything. I have a little shortcut for that. Select everything and then hit Control Shift and deselect that portion, and then right click hide, and that's going to hide the edges here. You can see it's still very jagged, but we'll fix that in a little bit, and I'll just show you just really quickly how we're going to fix that. So if I bring this off to the side, or maybe I'll wait to show you that, because it'll look like this, our other egg. But the benefit that this has is that we can now decorate one of these strands, and it's going to decorate all of them. So if you turn on hidden geometry, we can isolate one of these groups. What I'm going to do here is keep some white up here, and then we're going to choose, let's do like a red. I'm hitting B here, which brings up this little option over here for me. So we're going to go like right there. We're just going to do a line there, and then a bottom line somewhere around there, maybe here. Hit B, paint bucket tool, because I want to change that back to the default. Pink. Let's do like another double pink here. Let's do triple pink. How about triple pink? Yellow. Triple pink. Choose this guy. Go like a hotter pink. Something like this. Let's up the saturation on that guy. Something like that. And change this guy because it seems just a little bit out of place in this color scheme. Maybe it's more of like a yellow. Just saturate it more. Make this guy a little bit more muted. And this guy, yeah, I like that. Okay, and then maybe we'll put in like some light blue down here, and then duplicate a yellow. Let's just change this color a little bit. Just really subtle. Okay, so now when I come out of the group, you can see that we have these little stripes. But we can also add little decorations to this. So let's say I wanted to make a triangle here. Now, if you try to just draw the triangle, it's not going to work. So what you need to do is just really quickly draw on each face. Now, you could just sort of like eyeball it and then adjust it, which is certainly valid. And we may end up doing that here. But what I want to do is see if I can do this in a different way. So if I select this and hit divide, let's try. This way is going to allow me to just divide this in a way that hopefully makes sense and gives me equal divisions on either side. Let's try that. So I just chose a midpoint there, and then this guy's going to be the midpoint of that. So this isn't perfect, but it allows me to sort of get generally what I'm looking for. So I'm going to hit B here. We're going to choose like a teal for this guy, and then since I have these edges now, it's going to look weird at the end if I have these edges because none of these other things will actually show up. I can show you really quick. If I go to hidden geometry, you can see that there's a black outline here. So I want to get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is hit the eraser tool, and that's going to bring up, let me just, so I'm going to hit the eraser tool, hit E, and then hold Control, and that's going to allow me to get, to hide these lines. So I get something like that. Now I want to select this while I have this up and just change just make it a little bit brighter. Maybe something like that. And then we'll change this guy as well. Maybe something like that. So now, when you look at our egg, we have a design like that. Now, if you want to put like a little dot somewhere, so maybe you can see there that I wasn't able to snap to the midpoint because I don't have my hidden geometry on. So if I select my two midpoints here, I'm just going to draw a circle and then erase the rest of this stuff. And let's say these are just like little black dots. And then again, we're going to hide that little circle. So we get something like that, which looks pretty cool. Now your egg looks really cool, except for you have this like weird faceting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this off to the side. And then explode this. And then explode it again. So we're getting rid of those groups, and you can see that everything smooths itself out, and we have a nice looking egg. So we're going to call this egg 1. Now the nice thing about this is that I can edit this as many times as I want now. That other egg, since it's not a component anymore, isn't going to change. So if I go and I just select that, it goes away. So when we turn hidden geometry back on, we have these extra lines here now because we drew them. So I'm just going to erase them. And that's just something you need to be careful of as you sort of go through and do this. That you're not getting rid of that kind of stuff, or that you're not leaving that stuff. So I'm going to just leave that for now. And then let's just make a striped one. So let's try to do like I'm looking here at a little reference. There's like a gold on the bottom. So let's try to find a gold color. It's about like 3/4 of the way down. And so actually, what I could do here, just as a little tip, is I made sort of a line here already. So if I turn hidden geometry off, what happens is it allows me to color everything. If I was to select all of this stuff, just go all the way below. Didn't work like I thought it was going to work. If we were to, let's say, do this, so if I choose, just really quickly show you, let's make all of that this red color. I guess that's the easy way to do it. What I was going to say is you can actually, like if I change some of these and just do like random colors, and I just want to select those, I could, or I want to select what's in between them. I could select each one individually, but if you right click on it, if you select it and then right click on it, go to select all with same material, it's going to allow you to select all of those, so then you can quickly change. For this, you could just change it in edit, but if you want to change the material completely without editing that original material, you can do that. So for this, if I want to make just a stripe at the bottom, what I'm going to do is do Control A to select all, and then choose my pink color. Let's just choose that pink that's over there. So we have that pink, and then I'm going to find that gold again. I'm going to deselect, and then find the gold. Say it goes to about right here. I got to go back into my group. Okay. Now the let's say the gold comes down a little bit, so maybe it comes down to about, let's bring it up. One more. Okay. So now we have that guy. Again, turn hidden geometry off. When I move this over, explode it again, and then group it, you can see that it looks, I didn't need to group it at the end. You can see that it looks fine, but we actually have some weird, not sure what's going on there. You just look, we have some like warbling. I don't know why that is. It shouldn't be doing that. Soften edges here. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, it's doing it on this one too. So I guess we're just gonna leave it. I think that's a SketchUp thing. So we have that. Actually, let me look really quick to see if there's any like geometry in there. Just take a sneak peek into this. Nope. Sometimes that can be the cause. If there's like interior geometry. But there's not in this case, so. Okay. So we've got 2 eggs, and I think we're going to do one more. And then we'll be good. Because I like 3. I'm going to select this. There's a cool looking triangular one. With this, again, you can just really quickly take the component and edit it. It's not going to affect the other one because we already exploded it. So we're going to take this. I'm going to change the color. We're going to do like a dark blue. Actually, let's select all of it and then make it white, or the default color. I think what I have done here is I colored the outside of that component. If you apply, I'll just show you really quickly. Right now this is a default color, but if I select this component, all of these are components, but if I color just this single component on the outside, it doesn't change the actual component color, if that makes sense. So I can actually color these differently if I want, which maybe this could be a cool egg to do. Maybe I'll just select some of these colors. We'll just make an additional one. Bonus egg. Again, I'm hitting B here to bring up the paint bucket tool, and then Alt will allow me to select the colors here. Let's just go with this color theme, this little pinwheel. Of course. So I ran out of colors because I didn't do map before I did that. I was just hoping that it would work out. So let's make this one just a bright color. How about that? Actually, how many sides does this have? 16. So let's do. How about this? Just do it like this. There we go. Something like that. Again, explode, explode. That looks pretty cool. There we go. We got 3 eggs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, happy hacking.